How do you organize your files for YouTube? I remember looking into this like 3 years ago when my wife first started her channel, and there were not a lot of good resources. And I kind of had to learn my own system that we've developed over time, and I just kind of had the thought, hey, that might be helpful to somebody. So I'm going to break down how we organize our files after a few years of trial and error, what works best for us. Now, this is not an advanced tutorial. If you want that, I am planning to do a video where I break down the 3-drive strategy for storing your files, so make sure you subscribed and have the bell on so you don't miss that when it comes out. But this one is for the beginners or those who've been going for a while but just don't have a good system yet. Now, there are 2 types of files to address here. The first is the raw footage, the files that you're putting into the computer to work on. Some may argue with this, but I want to make sure that I can find those files easily. They need to be in a very clear place so that I can organize them well. So I actually put them in my C drive. Now, that's the main drive on my computer. And I put a folder in here called Working Media. Every piece of footage, every asset I use on a regular basis, if it's a graphic or an overlay or something like that, that's all going to go into Working Media. And how do I organize it? Well, in my Working Media file, I've got a 2021 and a 2022 folder. On my wife's, we've got a 2019, a 20, a 21, and a 22, all that already. This way we know where things came from, and it helps with archiving later. And you can see I go into the 2022 folder. Again, it's July. I have a July folder already set up. Now notice I've got a leading number ahead of the name of the month, and there's a reason for that. If you alphabetize months, they don't give you the actual order of the month. If you put numbers, that helps, but the computer reads the 1 as a first digit, and so 11 might actually end up ahead of January 01, 02, 03, followed by the month. That's the best way to organize your files such that if you sort them by name, you actually end up with them in chronological order. And then within each file, I have a folder for every project. So you can see here in April, I have a folder for all the projects I worked on. And then in each of those are the files that I used for that project. And then when I'm working in DaVinci Resolve, I know all I have to do is go into that folder and drag all the files straight into the project itself, and it's all there. But that's just the raw footage. What about your finished files? Same system, different place. Now, I use a separate drive. Again, that's a different video. But for those finished files, you can create in your C drive or wherever you prefer a folder called Finished Projects. And you can see here, again, I've got it by year and then by month. Like we were looking at the April project folders within the Working Media folder, I can go into April and see all those projects that were actually finished. This is what works for us after a few years of trial and error. Now, you might have a system that works better for you. I'd love to hear about it. Let me know down in the comments what that is and introduce yourself if you're new. But maybe what you're struggling with isn't so much file organization as it is editing workflow. I actually made a video where I break down my editing workflow step by step. So after you hit subscribe, go ahead and click here to watch that.